Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video I'm going to be continuing our Amazon Soap Fest. I'm going to be testing and reviewing Masterson's Mystic Snow Foam Auto Wash. As far as all the washes that we've done so far in our Amazon soap tests, this is probably the most premium of the offerings that I've looked at. This is, I believe, has just come out recently to the market from Mastersons. And the reason that I really want to try this is you guys know I really love the snow foam portion of the test, and I do that all the time on all my vehicles and customers' vehicles. And this was designed to give a really thick, rich lather shaving cream type foam. This is a premium wash, and the reason that you can tell that when you're holding something in your hand is that the dilution ratio on this is similar to the Chemical Guys or Adams Polishes car soaps, where it's 1 ounce per 5 gallons in a hand wash. And most of the Amazon Soap Fest offerings have been 1 ounce to 1 gallon of water. So this is, if it's a linear deduction, is 5 times as concentrated. But anyway, we're going to be using our MTM submachine gun style foamer for the foam portion of the test. I'm going to be using 2 ounces of the Mastersons and 10 ounces of warm water, just like we've always done. And then for the foam portion, in a hand wash, I'm going to be using 1 ounce of the Mastersons in my 3-gallon bucket that we've been using. Normally I would use 3 ounces in a 3-gallon bucket because, like I said earlier, the dilution ratio is so much lower. But I have high hopes for this. It's a very, very viscous car soap, which I'll show you later. You know what? I'm really excited to get this test going. It's about 51, 52 degrees outside. It is sunny. Most of the car is not in the sun, it's in the shade. And it's good temperatures to try out the Masterson. So enough blabbing from me. Let's go out and see what the Masterson's Mystic Snow Foam can do. Some bug guts. I've been through a couple of rainstorms with this. There's some sap on here, a little bit. All right, so I've got 2 ounces of our Mystic foam and 10 ounces of warm water. Let's see how this foams. All right, the first thing that you notice, this stuff is insanely thick. Look at the driveway. And this is composed of really, really fine micro bubbles. There's barely any medium bubbles in there at all. I want you guys to see it. It's not even really running. Oh yeah, there's a lot of lubrication in here. I mean, a lot. It feels like oiled water. Can't really denote any scent at all in the foam at all. You can hear Diesel howling in the background because he's approving. This stuff is really thick. You know, I gather if you were to put 3 ounces in there, that it may produce the same quality foam as you would get maybe in an air foamer, which will produce stuff that looks like whipped cream. Not necessarily it's any better than this, it's just kind of neat. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to let this sit here for 6 minutes. We'll come back and see how much of the Mystic Snow Foam is left on the car. Okay guys, here we are back 6 minutes later, and it looks like there's about 85% or so left on the hood, windshield, and top. And on the sun side here, probably about 50%, maybe 45% left on the side. So the next question is, will the Mystic Snow Foam strip our Adams liquid paint sealant? That's really the question. Now before, I didn't tell you guys that on the label they say that it's pH balanced, and you can actually let this stuff sit in the sun if you were to do so, dry on the car, and it's not going to hurt anything. It's already dried a little bit right here. You can do that with soaps that are pH balanced, okay? There's no acidity in them, and it's not going to hurt or damage your paint in any way. I wouldn't suggest it, but in situations like this where the sun is, well, it's drying the soap as opposed to where it's in the shade, it's not going to damage your car. So let's see what this will do after we rinse it. All right, well, it rinsed off nice and clean, and as you can see, the Mystic Snow Foam from Mastersons did not harm in any way our Adams liquid paint sealant. And I gotta tell you, it did an awesome job on the non-bonded contaminants and actually removed some of the bonded or lightly bonded contaminants. You don't expect a pre-wash that you're not actually touching, that we're doing to remove the non-bonded contaminants. It's just, unless the formulation was highly acidic or alkaline, from a neutral standpoint, it's not going to do that. But you can barely see where I touched the wheel for the brake dust. That's a lot of what I look at when I see a, people ask me, well, how do you come by the numbers? when you rate them. And of course it's subjective. I mean, somebody else may come up with something a little bit different, but that's a couple things that I look for, is how well does the pre-wash remove not only the non-bonded, but the bonded contaminants, if any. And I gotta tell you guys, this stuff is awesome. I don't know. I didn't expect that it would do that good. So I am going to give this portion of the test a 9. This ranks up there near the top as a snow foam. Very, very, very good snow foam. Okay, so let's see how it does in a hand wash. Let me get the bucket set up. We'll see what kind of foamage the Masterson snow foam makes. We'll do that right now. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and see what the Mystic snow foam can do in a hand bucket. Look at the foamage. And as I said before, we're going to be going with 1 ounce in this 3-gallon bucket. The soap is an extremely viscous, almost sapphire blue color, and it's very, very thick, very viscous. It also has a weird smell. I think it's berries. I think that's what it's supposed to be, like a berry flavor or berry scented car soap. If you're into that, I'm not. I don't really care. It's not offensive in any way. It's just, I don't know. It's maybe a mixture of some kind of berries. So, not any lubrication yet in the water, but if you'll notice, the soap is all sitting at the bottom, which is what we know happens with the viscous car soaps. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to agitate the soap with a pressure washer, and we'll see what kind of foamage it gives. Alright, so just looking at the foam right here, it's a very, very thick. It has a very small cell structure. There are some medium cells, bubbles in here. And the water has a lot of lubrication. This just goes to show you that oftentimes when you go and buy a cheap car soap at the auto parts store or Walmart or whatever, and you have to use 3, 4, 5 ounces to get the exact same quality of slickness and foaming as you do. I mean, guys, this was 1 ounce. If I had put 3 ounces in here, I dare say that it would have felt like just a bucket of oil. You don't need that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and get my 4 wash mitts. We'll wash this car, see what kind of performance we get out of it, and most importantly, does it remove the bonding contaminants and leave the surface clean and fresh. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and rate the Mastersons Mystic Snow Foam, how it performed in a hand wash. This stuff is fantastic. I'm going to rate this a 9.25. And the reason that I'm giving that is because it did an awesome job on the bonded contaminants that were on the car. But the level of slickness in the water, the level of slickness in the mitt, even as I was approaching the end of my section I was washing, it was still super slick in the mitt. The suds held up real nice. And I do like the fact that it is pH balanced. And if you do, you know, a lot of times you're washing your car, you don't have an option but to wash it in the sun. And it starts to dry, but this is absolutely not a problem. These high-end car soaps that we test and review, like the Adams, a lot of the chemical guys' products, if it dries, it's fine. It just rinses right off. It won't hurt the paint, it won't stain it. That's not the case if it's not pH balanced. But guys, this stuff is really good. It's good. This is good stuff. This is now probably in my top 3, and I would have never guessed it. So again, I'm going to put it at a 9 for the foaming ability. I'm going to give it a 9.25 for the hand wash. I'm going to put a link in the description box below where you can pick you up a bottle or 2 or 3 and give it a try yourself. See how you like it. I'm sure you're going to like it. And the good thing is you can use it at the recommended dilution ratio. You don't need any more than an ounce for your bucket. I mean, it really is, I can't say enough good things. So anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you haven't subscribed, I suggest that you do so that you don't miss any of my car reviews, soap reviews. I'm going to hopefully, if things work out, try to post 2 a week, and I will see you guys on the next video.